Good afternoon, everyone. This is Jared Rand, and welcome to the Global Guided Meditation Call for Saturday, December 11th, 2021, 3 p.m. Eastern. For today, investigate this experience called breathing all day long. Keep bringing your mind back to the breath, knowing, following it wherever it flows. Just be with it. If it's shallow, deep, fast, or sluggish, don't try to change your breath in any way. Simply connect to it, feel it from your heart, as if you're making friends with it. Notice how it changes when you merge with it and allow yourself to become it fully. Enlightenment begins the moment when you are not and God is. It is a moment of absolute harmony. A window opens and you can see the whole sky. You are no more confined within the walls of your body and mind. A lightning happens and old darkness disappears. Enlightenment is the Mount Everest in human consciousness. There is nothing greater in this life to discover. It is the peak of one's existence that naturally blossoms when you've reached a sweet, ripe maturity within every area of your life. Full enlightenment is not just about reaching a transcendental state of bliss through meditation. The real deal means you've also integrated this expanded understanding into your personal life. When you have mastered your relationships with people, money, food, sex, health, your body, feelings, thoughts, everything on your inner and outer world, then enlightenment simply finds you. It doesn't have to take very long. The moment you discover a deep and complete peace within every area of your life, you will have reached the highest level of maturity and revealed that the enlightened state is all about. One can only achieve their highest enlightened state when one has grown, evolved, and come to know all parts of themselves intimately. The full ripening and maturity of one's life means you have found peace with yourself, which overflows onto everyone and everything in your outer world. Enlightenment is a flowering of your divinity that naturally blossoms when you have relinquished this inner battle within you. It is only by experiencing truth on your own freedom that happens. Freedom is the fragrance of the experience of truth. When you discover the source of every thought, memory, and feeling on your inner world, you instantly liberate yourself from them. The experience of enlightenment is something quite mysterious and very challenging to capture with words. It is a state of profound presence that is coming from the beyond and is heading back into the beyond. If you are an individual who wants to traverse this spiritually advanced path, there are a few things you'll want to know about the various levels of maturity. If a man becomes enlightened in a Himalayan cave, then later returns to the city to find himself overwhelmed with stress, strife, and struggle, he hasn't reached his full maturity yet. The ultimate maturity means you are always abiding at your peaceful center, breathing deeply as the eye of the hurricane, enjoying the cosmic play spinning around you. This level of maturity comes with tremendous awareness, a consciousness that burns through the ego mind and doesn't let you get caught up or let you get snagged in the cyclone of people's drama. It's a tremendous awareness, a consciousness that literally will always burn through the ego mind. The result of constantly abiding at your peaceful center is a continuous realization of perpetual state of joy, bliss, love, and freedom is always at the source of who you are. These realizations lead one into the ultimate maturity, which ironically has the qualities of trees in a bamboo forest. Each individual tree contains an incredible strength as well as an amazing flexibility. Their roots are deeply intertwined. This allows them to connect with the souls of everyone around them, creating a feeling of a tight, loving family with every new sprout that joins the forest. When you judge another, you do not define them. You define yourself. Wayne Dyer. When you judge another, you do not define them. You define yourself. True maturity is something that's often misunderstood in our society. This enlightened maturity is unique in that it contains a childlike playfulness at the core, a constant state of receptivity to each new experience, and a profound humility that stems from the willingness to merge the heart. Although a peaceful stillness is always found at the very core of the mature soul. They are easily inspired, outrageous in their ideas, and simply excited about being alive in this amazing multidimensional universe. The immature soul is easy to identify, as he or she will put others down to lift him or herself up. Since they abide in ego, they always live in a constant state of insecurity because they haven't yet found the courage to venture deep inside to the very core of their being and discover the vast cosmic consciousness and all-forgiving love that's always there. Maturity certainly isn't something attained through age or adulthood. There are many children these days who are more mature than many adults, and the numbers seem to be increasing. The ultimate maturity comes through a welcoming of the large variety of different hot and cold experiences life gives you. It is a willingness to patiently bear the emotional storms of life, knowing always that everything is temporary and this too shall pass away. This cosmic understanding leads to the ripening of consciousness. Only the ripe fruit falls from the ground, Ocean. When your consciousness is fully ripe and mature, your burdens, difficulties, and problems in this life will naturally fall away. You'll stop manifesting them because your consciousness will be so high that you couldn't be entertained or hooked by the ego mind's illusion once again. You must know that this Mount Everest of enlightenment is tremendously high. And there are many, many, many old unconscious patterns from your past that need to resurface to be transcended along the way. To climb this peak in your Sunday slippers simply means the journey wasn't a real adventure, yet only a lazy stroll through your neighborhood park. If you yourself are spiritually awake, yet find yourself falling back into your ego's dramatic play again and again and again, do not be discouraged. This is just one stage of the ripening process. The secret here is consciously allowing yourself to fall back into ego mind. And when it happens, do it with utter awareness. Bring pure consciousness into the ego mind and let the two merge. This will burn away your past karmic conditioning faster than chanting a billion mantras and truly liberate you. We are all swinging on this pendulum that flows between the ego and spirit. And there's no getting off this ride until each of us have mastered it. Remain all the time steadfast in the heart. God will determine the future for you to accomplish the work. What is to be done will be done at the proper time. Don't worry. Abide in the heart. Sri Ramana Rishi. This mastery is your journey into maturity. So with pure awareness, meet and greet every ego mind you encounter. Meet and greet every ego mind you encounter. Watch how the ego rises and falls, all the while you are witnessing it. Relaxed at the core and in a state of awe of this great pendulum. So if you will, go to the place where you're not going to be interrupted. I'm sure we all are. And the first thing that we care to do is relax our bodies. Most of us aren't relaxed. Some of us don't know we're not relaxed. Some of us do. And others in between. The relaxed state of the body is absolutely imperative to move in to peace internally. Moving into peace is concentrating and focusing on your breath. Easy in through the nose, easy out through the mouth. And focus on the breath. Stay with the breath. This will cause you to not interact with the ego mind or the subconscious mind. You will still them. And you'll move into the now. And as long as you're focused on the breath, you're in the now. As soon as you stop focusing on the breath, you're either in the past or the future. That's where the suffering is. The now, the suffering stops. The past, the suffering is there. The future, the suffering is there. Knowing this consciously really helps us to stay in the now. We all know this. We know it. We just don't pay much attention to it. Because when we do this, when we go into the future, we go into the past, or we have expectations, it's the future or the past, then we suffer. We always will by doing that. The motivating factor for each of us to stay in the now. And when you're in the now, you don't judge your ego mind or your subconscious mind. You watch them. You watch how they operate. In other words, you might have a thought and you'll say, that's ego. You'll identify it, which is a good thing. You won't judge it. You say, that's ego. And it will just vanish immediately. But you're acknowledging it, say. And the ego mind tries to get as tricky as it possibly can. To trick you, to trick any of us. But you recognize it. You recognize the mind's incessant control of you, over you, and the ego's incessant control over you. And every time you're able to identify it, that's ego. And you'll get so good at it, because you practice it all the time, it'll be all. A thought comes in, that's ego. You'll know what it is because you'll feel it, and you'll know that it isn't a comfortable feeling. So this is the only way to master the ego mind. To watch, not judge, not criticize, not ridicule, but to watch. As you watch, you learn. You're able to identify these as they come in. And remember, your thoughts are generated out, so the universe manifests, moves energy into form, creates it into reality. When you have thoughts come in, those are not your thoughts. And they're very tricky. Once you get practicing enough, you'll identify, that's not my thought. No matter how much it seems like it is a program that flies by you like clouds in the sky. And what we do is that we are so curious, such curious beings, that we'll grab onto one of those clouds while we're in the now. And we find ourselves wandering off in different thoughts. And it's where for example, it's one of those times where you'll say, where the heck did that thought come from? That can't be my thought. And you're right, it isn't. But when that happens, it's to remind yourself to be gentle, kind, generous, humble, and the highest of deepest gratitude 24/7. So you say, I have moved out of the now. I will focus on my breath, and I will be in the now. Because the now is all we have. There's nothing else. The now. That's it. Now, if you look in the body, because we know we're not the body, we're the soul, the spirit, the higher self, the Father, the Son, the Holy Spirit. These are all facets of the God that each of us are. And when the body relaxes, we know when the body is relaxed. Because you're not thinking, and you're not feeling guilty of not doing anything. You know, understand? We've been so trained that we become guilty if we relax. We got to do something. I got to get going. I got to get this going. I got to get that going. That's the ego mind. Never satisfied. Never will be. That's why some of us spend thousands of lifetimes trying to figure it out, when you can do it in this lifetime. Now, you look inside the body and you see light, straight up from the tailbone all the way to the top of the head. Lights. And they're not like, they're all different colors. And I like lights on, they're not colors like on this planet. They're much more deep and vibrant. And some people call them chakras. And what is the meaning of chakra? Wheel. So these are wheels of light. They're spiritual etheric energy. You, the God that you are, all of us are etheric spiritual energy. So doesn't it make sense that we flow through these wheels of light, these chakras? And we're connected to everything about these bodies, right down to the quantum cord, blood flow, arteries, brain, heart, all the organs, everything. That's how much we know about the body we're in. And so then you begin on all your emotions or your character, your person, everything. So then you begin to realize that if this is true, then I should be able to heal this body almost instantaneously. And you will. You will. You know, you're standing 3 paths in front of you. One on the left, quite worn, the past. One on the right, the future, also very worn. The one you're standing on, the now, almost pristine, looks brand new. Now we all reminisce. You know, it can be a song or conversation or just bubbles up. And we'll go into our subconscious mind library where everything is stored from the time we enter these bodies to the time we leave them. And we review. You know, that was a good time. I really enjoyed that. You know, I'd like to have that again. And there are some areas that we really didn't enjoy, but we look at them. But we don't stay there. We leave, put the books back on the shelf and leave. But some of us will just stay there. I don't believe it's knowingly. I think some of us just get caught up in the past. And we stay there so long that we end up bringing it into a future that doesn't exist, creating that future from that path, that past, and reliving it, that future in that, reliving that past in that future. Now, we also will go into a future that doesn't exist because we create the future in the now. Everything happens in the now. But we still do. We go into the future. And we want to know, when are we going to have a better job? When are we going to make more money so we can have a more comfortable life? When we're going to meet the lifelong romantic relationship person? When are we going to be healthy enough to enjoy life? All of this stuff. But the now is all any of us will ever have, the now. Because remember, the God within us will determine the future for us to accomplish the work that we're here to do. So we also know that the soul, God, God's source, kingdom of God, the heaven, and the body, the earth. We are literally heaven on earth. We come into these bodies, we power them up. Our power, the gods that we are, sustain these bodies so that they can sustain the gods that we are. We come in, plug in, and power her up. Not only that, what does that mean? It means that we are consciously aware that we are of and from the highest of the highest high, the deepest of the deepest deepest, the purest of the purest purest, eternal love, gratitude, and peace. And every step that we take on this planet, we are literally creating paradise. Not only that, but we're shining our light. Our God force, love, light, energy, that of which we are, we shine it outward, 360 degrees, we blast all life, the highest supreme value in the universes. So we're flooding the planet. A God planet paradise is what we are creating collectively. All one. So if you were to take a trip outside this planet, out far enough where you could see it in its entirety, you would see the globe. After all, we're 8 billion gods on this planet. And you would notice that all the lights in the universe that are surrounded around it, pale in comparison, dim in comparison. Now, we know that we, all of us, parts of the gods that we are asleep. Other parts of us are awake. Ones that are asleep are with us always because they are part of us. They just don't hear. They don't participate. But they're still with us. And we're in communication all the time with the parts of us that is awake, is aware. And this is all the light energy beings and all that there is, ever has been, ever will be, ever beyond, and forever. Whether it's 1,000 billion light years away or right in front of you. And the numbers are in the googolplexes. One googolplex fills this universe with not even 1 square inch of sacred space to spare. They come in trillions of googolplexes, in trillions of directions from trillions of universes. This is the Freya, Buddha, Lakshmi, Ganesh, Gaia, Saint Germain, Christ, El Morya, Abundantia, Pel, Thoth, Yah, Yeshua. Off-worlders, galactic, celestials, all of our loved ones who have ascended out of body in this lifetime and all lifetimes that we have inhabited. All the inhabitants of inner earth, hollow earth, Agartha, and beneath earth. All light energy beings. And on this planet, with the eyes that we have with these bodies that we're in, we only see 1% of what is. So, a lot of light energy beings, all colors, shapes, forms, sizes, and configurations, we just don't see. They're in different light spectrums. But we are familiar with a group of them. And part of that group we interact with on a daily basis. Fairies, the sprites, the elves, the gnomes, the dwarves, the trees, the trolls, the elementals, earth, air, water, fire, ether, wood. We interact with all of those. If this body didn't have air, could we stay in it? Nope. What about water? Nope. So we have an intimate relationship with the elementals. They sustain these bodies. Now the archangels, they're a civilization that vibrate at a different frequency than we do. And the gods within them are part of the gods within us, inhabiting and experiencing different aspects of existence. Now, we do meet with them, interact with them throughout the life. But a lot of the times we don't know it because we're too busy off in the material, physical world, worrying, stressing, and fearing. But sometimes we do. And we say, usually it's after the fact that we've interacted or met with them or talked with them. You say, hey, I was an angel. And since more and more of us on this planet are waking, more and more are understanding this. You need some help. All of a sudden, someone appears and helps you. And all it was a thought, right? And you manifested that. The angel shows up and helps you. Could be just a regular person, you know. And then when you look up, they're not there. And it was only a brief few seconds. It's a good feeling to know that parts of the gods that we are helping parts of the gods that we are on a continual basis. That's bliss. And they have one message, but they deliver it in just a plethora of ways. And we end up translating it, which means, isn't it magna glorious to be alive in these bodies? And it is. But we take it for granted most of the time. Because as gods, we don't do anything that we do in these, that we experience within these bodies, with these bodies. We don't eat, we don't sleep. We don't worry, stress, fear. We don't have anxiety. We don't have jobs. We don't make money. We don't wear clothes. All of the stuff that we experience in this physical life, we don't have, we don't do as gods. Now you can understand why we get so seduced with these bodies and so enticed. Taste, smile, laugh, cry, frown. You know, eat wonderful food. Enjoy. I mean, all these things. So we, you know, whether we know it or not, we become almost addicted to these bodies. Yet we don't know them. Isn't it amazing? We become addicted to something that we don't know anything about. Because we forget about discovering the God that we are within the body. And by doing this, we will know the body. Now, they can surround any one of us at any one time in the tens of thousands or tens of millions. Because their vibrational frequency, they can hold a large number in a small area. And you know what? All you got to do is ask. And they'll be immediately surrounding you. It's not like you're closed in. They're there as part of you, part of the God that you are. And that's bliss. Now, the galactics, the celestials, the off-worlders, we're not familiar with many of them. Over 1,000 species travel through the solar system every day. Trillions throughout the universes every day. Now, we are familiar with a small group, Pleiadians, Arcturians, Andromedans, Feline, Zeta Reticuli, Anunnaki, Nords, Greys, Draco, Reptilian, Golden Pyramid, Avian. Now, this particular group has been assisting us in our evolution, enlightenment, ascension, freeing ourselves from our own self-imposed bondage and our own self-imposed slavery. Now, the Ascended Masters have mastered physical, have ascended into physical and mastered physical, ascend out of physical, hold pure consciousness, God form. We have ascended into physical, are in the process of mastering physical, creating our experiences to perfect our creation. We're all gathered, so to speak, arm in arm, hand in hand, consciously aware, in the hundreds of millions and beyond, on and off world, in full compassion, non-judgment, non-ego, non-negativity, gentleness, kindness, generosity, humbleness, bliss, joy, peace, tranquility, benevolence, prosperity, abundance. And we're all one, and we always will be one. And we're all God, and we always will be. And we're all love, and we always will be, ever, beyond, and forever. And our God force love light energy is in all that there is, ever has been, ever will be, ever, beyond, and forever. And it continues to intensify, and it continues to expand. We immediately form a circle of light around the equator of this planet Earth, Gaia, Arya, and this now. This circle of light is emanating from each and every single one of us as the gods that we are. It is the highest of the highest high, the deepest of the deepest deepest, and the purest of the purest purest, eternal love. And it's flooding this planet and everyone on it. All life, the highest supreme value in the universes. It's not intermittent. It's constant. It's infinity. We begin to ascend above the planet, and we're immediately met with this massive ocean of glitter. Best way to describe it is like a massive, grand finale fireworks display, a laser light show which has never been seen before, and this massive ballroom mirrored globe, but the one that we're watching is 1 trillion times bigger and 1 trillion times more intense. Combine all that and see that, visualize that through the heart-mind. It's absolutely spectacular. And so we're curious, and so we look at the reflective points, and as we get as close, we discover that there's little tiny microscopic perfectly etched mirrors. And then we go within. And as we do, we discover that all of us gathered, all of us interacting as one, as we are, the gods that we are teaching and learning. We're students and teachers with each other. We're either learning or teaching and learning, or both. Never none, always one. And it doesn't matter what we inhabit as far as life. We're the life. We bring the energy and the power to the vessels that we inhabit that allow us to experience physical life. So it doesn't matter what we're housed in. We're all one. But we're learning from the experience of the different habits, and as we inhabit different forms of physical experience. So that's why we learn from each other. We learn from a mouse, a bird in the sky, a caterpillar, a butterfly. We learn from everything. They're all teaching us. We're teaching them. But we're so tied up in the material physical world that it goes unnoticed. You try it. You go out in nature, sit in a park, focus on your breath, be still, and just gaze, watch. You'll feel like you're almost in slow motion. And you'll experience things that you'd never experienced before, sitting on that park bench that you'd sat there many times before. We're immediately met by the emerald green flaming healing light of Archangel Raphael. This is the column of light that we created to remind us that we are the power of healing. We're then met by the violet, purple, blue flaming light of Archangel Michael. This is a column of light that we created to remind us all of our omnipotent power, strength, and resolve. We are then met with the white fire. This is a column of light that we created to remind each and every single one of us that from head to toe, inside and out, throughout infinity, we are protected by this white fire armor. It emanates from the God Force love light energy within each and every single one of us. It is pure, deep, eternal love. The highest of the highest high frequencies. So nothing can invade it, trick it, seduce it, eliminate it, harm it. No demon possessions, no attachments, no lower dark matter, survival matter frequency of any kind. They can't. They have to stay away from us when our vibrational frequency is this high. Consistently. But only you have the power that if you decide to lower your vibrational frequency low enough, whether consciously or unconsciously, through hate, anger, greed, envy, hurriedness, revenge, you will create a breach in your white fire armor. Enough so to allow lower dark matter, survival matter frequencies to come flooding in. Now, demon possession, attachment, many other situations can occur. Now, if you do decide to do this, you're immediately met with a double column of light. The first part of this column of light is a purple transmuting flame. We created this part of the column of light to remind us all that we can bring in the purple transmuting flame. We can transmute all of these lower dark matter, survival matter frequencies into neutral light substance, sending them to pure consciousness where they are no more. The second column, part of this column of light, is the violet ray. We created this part of the column of light to remind us all that we can bring in the violet ray right behind the purple transmuting flame, cleanse and purify the area where these lower dark matter, survival matter frequencies were, sealing the breach in our white fire armor, restoring our vibrational harmony of the highest high, deepest of the deepest deepest, purest of the purest purest, eternal love, gratitude, peace. We are then met with the golden white pink light. This is a column of light that we created that reminds all of us gods in these bodies, these physical forms, that we are the sun. We are the sunlight, the sunrise, the sunset, the rain and the rainbows, the clouds in the sky, the oceans, the rivers, the lakes, the streams, the trees, the forest, the soils, the animals, the mountains. We are everything. Everything is us. So the next time you view a sunset or a sunrise, or a rainbow, or a starry-lit night sky, it is you. It always has been, always will be, ever, beyond, and forever. That is the God that I am. So when we view that, we say that to her, that is the God that I am. Watch what happens when you do that. Always have been, always will be, ever, beyond, and forever. We continue to ascend above the planet, and some of us decide to step out of our physical form and hover effortlessly above it, if we're carrying physical form. And why do we do this? Well, because we can. We immediately are met with a massive crystalline light tower, larger than the solar system and beyond. We created this tower. In the center of the column is an oblong sphere. In the center of the sphere is a golden white ball of light. It is surrounded by numerous multicolored rings of light. We notice that they're all sending this massive mist, and it looks electrified. You can see where looks like sparks. And then there's all kinds of reflections, colors, glitters, and it's shimmering. And it's a bright white, nothing like you've ever seen. And it absorbs into you. It is like a warm embrace that never ends. Now, the golden white ball of light is the highest of the highest high, the deepest of the deep, purest, eternal love. Then comes gratitude, peace, well-being, gentleness, kindness, generosity, and humbleness, bliss, joy, tranquility, benevolence, great prosperity, great abundance. And then we discover that all of it is a reflection of the gods that we are in these bodies. Now, at the top of this crystal light tower, we designed it so the golden ocean can come cascading down 360 degrees, flooding, saturating, and bathing us all life, the highest supreme value in the universe. And what is the golden ocean? It's the highest of the highest high, deepest of the deepest deepest, purest of the purest purest, eternal love, gratitude, peace. And we're all swimming in it throughout infinity because we hold the essence of it. And we are it. The golden ocean is the drops are the golden ocean. And the only illusion is separation. We see our meditative sphere. It's at center circle. We all created this sphere moving towards 4 years ago. It holds over 1,700 of our meditations in perpetual motion. And these meditations don't fade. They don't go away, dissipate. They can't be manipulated. they continue to intensify and they continue to expand. All of us gathered, hundreds of millions of us, on and off world, consciously aware, focused on this one planet on the outer rim of the Milky Way galaxy for its complete and utter liberation of all lower dark matter, survival matter frequencies, no matter where they may be, no matter where they may be hiding. Gone. Remember, the brighter the deep eternal love that we shine, the less they can be. That's it. There's no argument with that. It is absolute fact. But we allow ourselves to be seduced into that. Then they stay around. Stay present to consciousness. Being all the time is not being conscious. If you can fathom that, just take time to just be present to your body, to your breath, to your life. Your body is your home, not your head. So keep dropping down out of your head and into your heart. Participate in the drama of the mind. I'll join you in meditation. I'll return to close us out. Take an easy breath in through the nose and an easy breath out through the mouth. Move easily and slowly, present to whatever is inside. Is there something feeding on your energy or eating at you from the inside? The problem will shift when you do. What all has happened in your life from beginning until now, whatever it is that you absolutely do not want to feel it. The moment you do, it will move and change form. Remember, motion stands for energy in motion. Motion stands for energy in motion. Take this with you for the rest of the day, into the evening and night, and the following morning. We will return here Sunday, December 12th, 2021, 3 p.m. Eastern, to continue our global guided meditation call.